I am so pleased and honored to have back on the show with us right now Congresswoman Barbara Lee, the U.S. Congresswoman from the 13th District, representing the 13th District of California. Lee.house.gov is her website. And the one person who had the common sense back in 2002, I believe it was, to see that George W. Bush's plans to occupy the Middle East forever were crazy. Am I, Congresswoman Lee, am I mischaracterizing or exaggerating here?
I'm good. Was it that actually 2001? It's 3 days after that.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you. It sounds like maybe your thumb is over the microphone.
Oh, can you hear me now? Is that any better?
It's pretty bad.
Is that any? Wait just a minute. Let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was actually 2001, right after the
2001. That's right after 9/11. Yep.
And that was when President Bush came and presented a blank check, really, for perpetual war. It was a resolution that authorized the use of force, had no end date, had no designation in terms of what the strategy was. It just said that the president is authorized to use force against any nation, organization, individual deemed connected to 9/11.
Right.
That was so broad. It's been used over 30-some times based on some declassified reports from the Congressional Research Service, and that really has set the stage. It
Right.
did set the stage for Iraq. It set the stage now for what is taking place in Syria, and the resolution that I've introduced that presents a comprehensive strategy on how to deal with ISIS is a resolution that would actually repeal the 2001 resolution.
So, your phone is pretty bad, and so let me just recap for people who might not have been able to understand what you said. Basically, that authorization to use force back in 2001 that George W. Bush used against Afghanistan initially has been used repeatedly since then by him and by President Obama, and in ways that it was not originally intended. It's gone crazy, and you're proposing a piece of legislation. My word, not yours. And you're proposing a piece of legislation that would require the president to submit, I'm reading here from the New York Times, to submit a detailed plan with timelines, projected costs, and metrics for success for diplomatic, political, and economic ways of countering ISIS or ISIL, as opposed to military ways. Do I have that right, Congresswoman Lee?
No. Let me just say, this doesn't take any military action off the table. What we're saying is that this must be a comprehensive strategy if we're really going to dismantle and disable ISIS.
Right.
And you have to have a diplomatic initiative because we know many of the root causes of what is taking place. And military action alone is not going to ensure the national security of the United States, nor the region. And so we have to have a debate, and we have to come up with an authorization that really provides a path forward where we can make sure that there's regional peace and stability, not engage in more bombing and in more wars.
Why do you expect that so few, I mean, you've got a Republican majority in the House, and among them you've got a bunch of saber rattlers who are, of the John McCain bomb variety. How do you expect this to play out when you drop this? Have you dropped this piece of legislation?
Yes, we dropped it, and we never know because the American public is war weary. First of all, the public understands that we have to do something as it relates to the real barbaric attacks against ISIS and what they're doing in the region, and so we have to come up with a way to put that to rest and to really move forward and at least ensure some stability and stop the terrible killings and not allow more wars to be created out of this. Right. And so, hopefully the debate and the public will understand that if we really want to ensure our national security and deal with ISIS, then we're going to have a comprehensive strategy, and that we cannot have ground troops, we cannot engage our military personnel in another war. And that's going to just create more danger and more hostility toward our country. And so we have to have a comprehensive strategy.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Where do we take this? How can Americans speak out on behalf of your legislation? How, if they call this congressional switchboard 202-225-3121 and say, I'd like to speak to my member of Congress, here's my zip code, and they connect them to their member of Congress's office, what should they say?
Sure, they should go down and they should just say, look, support and we can get you the actual resolution number, but the Lee resolution be sure to go on as co-sponsoring that bill. The more members of Congress who co-sponsor the bill, the more likely we are to get a debate and a vote on that. And so they don't even need to call their Washington office. They can call their district office, know who your representative is, go down, meet with them, send them email, call. And that way, we can engage the public, because it's going to be the public. And that's the Constitution requirement, that Congress engage in war, peace and war-making policy.
Right.
And so the people's voice is really reached.
Why not take it a step further and ask for a specific congressional resolution of war? We haven't had a congressional resolution of war, to the best of my knowledge, since World War II, and yet the Constitution says, basically, we can't shoot anybody until Congress says so.
Well, I think Congress has skirted its responsibility. If we're going to engage in war, the Constitution requires we declare war. I mean, that's the next step, because we have been in the state of perpetual war, especially since 2001.
Right.
And this is going to continue under our watch, under any president's watch, Bush, now President Obama, and moving forward. I think this president, however, has tried to narrow his military response and has tried to look at alternatives to the use of force, or in addition to the use of force. But I think what's important is that the use of force is not the first option, and that's not the only option.
Right.
The public has to weigh in on that and say, yes, if we're going to stay in war, declare war. If not, if we're going to engage in some form of military action, at least have the authorization
right
there, the comprehensive authorization that doesn't lead to more warfare and more hostilities.
We're just about out of time. Are there any members of Congress who are proposing that we do something like the Marshall Plan, where instead of sending in our contractors so that they can profit off rebuilding another country, we loan or give the money to these countries in the Middle East and let them rebuild themselves?
Well, I think, we've seen what has taken place in Iraq. We've sent trillions of dollars.
It's pretty corrupt.
To Iraq and Afghanistan. We need to audit the Pentagon and first see where U.S. tax dollars have gone.
There you go.
Because we still haven't been able to audit the Pentagon.
Totally with
Secondly, you. I do think it's the region's responsibility.
Okay. Thank you. Congresswoman Barbara Lee, you're great. Thank you.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann.